Welcome to the Rattling the Brain podcast, episode 6. Today we have Tmu Wrestler Dechlan Papadopoulos on today. He is the second ranked wrestler at his weight class in the entire country. Declan, thank you for being here, bro.
Great to have me. Thanks, guys. Excited to be on here.
All right, so we'll hop in real quick. What is a sport that you did before wrestling? Anything you kind of did before you got into the sport?
Before wrestling, I did a lot of taekwondo when I was younger. I did a lot of cross country. I was on my high school basketball team. I played soccer as well. I was a very active kid. I like all sports, but yeah, taekwondo was really the main one.
In terms of like staying in shape, like what do you do outside, like off the wrestling mat to make sure you're in like top pristine shape for your matches?
Yeah, something I really like to do is swimming. I think swimming's a good way to like work on your cardio. That's really good. I don't mind going for runs. That actually helps a lot. I'm always in the gym lifting weights. I like lifting weights. It's something I like just even outside of wrestling, just like doing in general. I like going to the gym. But I like just staying active. Like I'll go to the basketball court. If someone wants to say, let's go throw a football, I'm down. I'll do anything. But mainly like swimming or going lifting weights.
I like it. So like me personally, I'm like more of like a hockey guy and like my love came from like kind of watching the game and kind of being around it all the time. Where do you feel that your love for wrestling kind of came from?
I got it from my uncle is actually a coach for one of the teams I wrestled with called Team Impact. He got my family into it, but watching my sister growing up definitely helped me get into it easier. But it definitely came from my uncle and my sister, um, and just everyone around me once I joined. Like it continued me to keep going because I made a lot of friends through it. So mainly that.
Did your sister like wrestle at a high level or was she
Yeah, in my opinion, my sister's like one of the best female wrestlers in Canada history. She won the Pan Ams in 2015 in Canada when it was in Toronto. She was legit.
Oh wow, that's crazy. I never even knew that. It's
Yeah,
insane.
she's legit.
That's actually insane. So obviously, like most athletes, when they're like doing their sport and stuff, they kind of realize like at a time that they have like a good talent and they could take it far. At what point did you realize you had the talent to be like a U Sports athlete and compete in like the university level?
But in grade nine, I was on the my high school basketball team, as I said earlier. So I was doing that, and I wasn't really taking wrestling serious. And then there was a nationals, like the national tournament, to get on Team Canada for the first time. So I was like, I'll do it. And when I did it, I actually won, and I made Team Canada for the first year in grade nine. And when that happened, I was like, you know what? I'm not doing it full time. Like I just made Team Canada. Maybe I should take this a bit more serious. So then I just cut off every sport I was doing and I focused on wrestling at that time. So around grade nine is when I was like, okay, I got to take this serious.
Oh, I love it. So like walk
Yeah.
us through like what a wrestling practice kind of looks like. Because I know you guys compete against each other and you guys are teammates at the end of the day, but what does like an average practice look like for you guys?
During competition, it's very similar like throughout the season. You'll get there, you'll do your warm up, a lot of gymnastics, a lot of running, a lot of stretching to begin with, and then we'll get into technique, just working our moves. Probably do that for about 20 minutes. Then we'll do some high speed drilling, like your favorite moves. You'll do probably in like a minute or 30 seconds. You do it as many times as you can. And then we'll just do a lot of live goes. Our team likes to do a lot of matches, a lot of live goes. So we'll do a lot of those for about probably an hour. And then we'll like stretch out, cool down, do some light jogging. And then that's pretty much it. And then during the off season, it's a bit more relaxed. We'll do a lot more technique, a lot of times we have like a lot of coaches, probably have like six coaches, and each day they'll show a different thing. So then we just work on that throughout the summer. It's pretty chill in the summer.
So during the season, do things like ever get heated in practice? Because I know you guys like are very competitive and everyone wants to win. Like, do things ever like go overboard sometimes in practice?
Uh, Once in a while, I'm okay with that now. I don't. The older I get, the better I am with it. But when I was younger, trying to prove myself, I was a little bit of a hothead. But now I'm more chill. But now I kind of just more argue with the coaches is more than my partners because we're all family, we're all friends. So yeah.
There you go. As a wrestler, do you like kind of get like the opportunity to like study other opponents that you like go up against? Like, because I know sometimes you guys have tournaments and you'll face like two or three people in a day. But like if you
Yeah.
have like a big match, do you ever get an opportunity to like look at another wrestler and be like, okay, he's good at this, he's good at that, or is it more just coming up with your own game plan and seeing where that takes you?
Me personally, I don't really like watching other people. I just think it just puts too much in my head. Like I have to worry about stuff. So I leave it up to my coaches, and then like before the match, they'll talk to me about it. So I just leave it up to them, and they give me the game plan. Because when I watch wrestling, it kind of just makes me feel anxious. It makes me feel like, oh, okay, I got to do this, I got to do that. So I just leave it to my coaches, and then they'll tell me what to do before I go out there.
I like it. So as a goalie myself in hockey, it's like I have the game plan, right? My game plan is to get in the net, stop the puck, and it really doesn't change. Sometimes I make small adjustments, but as a
Yeah.
wrestler, if you're like wrestling someone and you see like it's just not working, do you
Yeah.
ever like need to make like an adjustment, like a huge adjustment, and change your whole style mid-match, or do you kind of just go with what you come in with?
Yeah, I've definitely changed my the way I wrestle during a match. That usually happens in between the rounds. Like, so there's two rounds in wrestling. So after the first round, if I realize like nothing's going my way, and I'll say it to the coach, and they'll be like, "Okay, let's try this. Let's try something different." So like some matches, I'll be more like aggressive with people, and some matches I'll be more laid back. It just depends on how I feel the opponent is when I first start the match. I'm a very relaxed wrestler, I would say. So if they're coming at me, I'm gonna, keep going at them. But if they're relaxed, I'll stay relaxed. It just really depends on what my coaches have to say in between the rounds.
Like how long are the wrestling matches? I sorry, the rounds.
Yeah, so it's 2 3 minute rounds, 6 minutes in total.
Like that must be tiring. It's probably gassed. Doesn't
Yeah,
sound that long, but like
at the
de-
beginning of the year when your cardio's not up, it's a headache. Yeah,
definitely. I know you mentioned your sister and your uncle, but like, is there anyone else in like your life, coaches, family, you want to give a shout out to who's kind of helped you get to where you are today?
I just want to shout out everyone on the Tmu Wrestling team, anyone at Team Impact that stayed. Like our team used to be really big, throughout the years it's gotten smaller. So I really want to credit the people that have stayed around and helped me get better. But I also give credit to my family. They've been great throughout the years. That's about it. Yeah, I got a couple role models outside of wrestling. I watch a lot of sports like a lot of people, so I have some other role models, yeah.
I like it. So, what advice would you give to like a young man or like a young woman who's kind of just getting into wrestling and wants to pursue it?
At the beginning, you will not be good. That's the honest to God truth. You're gonna get beat up at the beginning. It's gonna take time, but if you keep working at it, like it'll come eventually. Like you're not gonna be great in 1 year. You're not gonna be great in like 2 years even. Like I tell the university guys all the time, like it's a different level. Like you're competing against like legit guys. So, but if you stick with it, it's gonna come eventually, and you're gonna see improvements. And with wrestling, I always say, like I always see that. Like I see kids that start out, and by like second or third year, like they're improving, and like they even realize that. And once they realize that, I think that's the main goal.
That's the thing I assume. Like everyone at the university level is really good, and then there's people that are really great. I don't think is there anyone. There's not really that many bad people at that kind of level, right?
I'm not saying they're bad, but like the first years, like when you're coming the first year and you're wrestling, like a guy that's been doing it for like 5 years, it's a big jump. It's a big difference. So, you got to work at it.
Yeah, makes sense. So, how important would you say like dedication is to your success? I'm sure you spend lots of time in the gym working and trying to get better, but what do you credit dedication to where you've gotten today?
The one thing I really focus on is like the days you don't want to be there. Like there's so many days I'm like I don't want to go, I want to stay home, I want to go out. But it's the days that you don't want to go is the days that actually feel the most important to me. Those really help. But dedication, like you have to have a goal too. You can't just be like, oh, I'm gonna go do this. You can't take it like 50%. So if you make yourself like if you get a goal like the beginning of the year, like throughout the year, I think that helps a lot. And yeah, that's about it.
So, what does like a typical match day look like to you? Let's say you have like a 7 o'clock match or you have a bunch
Yeah.
of matches. How do you prepare the night before, the day before? What are you doing before the day to get ready?
I'm a very different person. I've seen some people like, they eat like very healthy. Me, like I'm very like I like my things. So like a day before a tournament, after I weigh in, or like even the day of, I'm trying to go to a Taco Bell.
Nice.
That's my favorite place to go. That or I like eating pasta, so I'll go to like East Side Mario's. Those are two places I have to go. But in terms of like sleep, I try to get 6 hours before the tournament. I think 6 hours is enough for me. I'm very relaxed and chill before a tournament. A
Mm.
lot of people take it very serious. I like to be more chill and calm. I'm usually just with my teammates, joking around, like making everything funny and just being relaxed. But superstitions, I don't. I have like a couple. Like sometimes I'll read like the Bible before I go to sleep the night before. I'm a big religious person, so I'll do that. Other than that, I'm just chill person.
So when would you say that that kind of chill like mentality kind of came to you? Because I assume when you were like a rookie and kind of starting, I'm sure the jitters were there and I'm sure you were bouncing off the wall getting ready. At what point in your career did you start to like mellow down and just kind of like relax before your matches?
Honestly, it happened like the beginning of this year. Last year because I was the rookie, I was like a bit nervous, trying to prove myself. But now that I'm doing these things, I kind of becoming more relaxed with myself. And it doesn't matter the outcome as long as I'm happy with like what we're putting into the product. The goal here is that's all that matters. Sometimes you're not going to win, sometimes you're going to lose. So it's okay to lose sometimes, because it's not just this one tournament. I've got like 3 more years of this. So it's not just what happened yesterday. We got to look forward.
So how important would you say kind of confidence is to the way you wrestle? Like I'm sure that's like a huge aspect towards like your game and stuff. What do you have to say about your confidence in there? In that?
Uh, People that know me know I'm a confident person. You could give me like a penny and I'll think that penny's worth like $1 billion if it's mine. I'm a very loyal person, so what I have around me, I credit it to the max. People will call me biased, so that's how I view myself. So, um, that's definitely important. And you can't just put yourself down and your team down. Like, of course, there's going to be like some negatives to where you're at. Like, not everything's perfect. So you just got to look at it on the bright side and just you got to look at it a positive view. Some people think, oh, this is not good. Like, I'm not going to do well. You got to put those things to the side and just keep moving forward. And that's how I view it. So confidence is very important, but it comes within yourself and the people around you. You can't be around negative people.
So like would that be kind of your advice to someone who like struggles with confidence out there? No. Sorry, in the real world or also in like wrestling would be just to, like surround yourself with the right people.
Surround yourself with the right people and also just believe in what you have. Like like I said, like you could give me a penny and I'll think it's worth $1 billion because if it's mine, that's the way I cherish it.
I'm
You
not a
got to look.
wrestler. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah. Go
So
ahead.
I'm not like a wrestler, but like one question I had, I don't know if this is something that like will sound stupid to you or will sound like a good question, but I looked up, you're not like the biggest guy in the world, right? Like you're like an average human, but if you're going into a wrestling match and you look across from you, there's a guy who's like 6'2" and maybe like I know you guys have weight classes, but weighs a little bit more than you, just looks a little bit bigger. At the beginning, was there ever any nerves looking like, damn, that guy's big or like this is gonna be like a tough one? Did that ever go through your head, or do you kind of just like feel that confidence no matter who you're going up against?
Honestly, I don't worry about my opponent. Like it's not something I focus on. I just focus on myself. So like, yeah, I say I look across the man, the guy like looks like way bigger. Like, he's like some people like get nervous if they see people with a bunch of tattoos.
Yeah.
I don't like that was some people get nervous about that. But me, I don't focus on who I'm wrestling. I just focus on what I'm doing and I make sure if I'm right, then I'll feel good going into it. So, but I get what you mean by that. But it also helps when there's weight classes too for that purpose. But as long as I'm happy with myself before the match, it doesn't matter who's on the other side. I'm gonna be happy.
Yeah, because I personally love to grapple. Like I do it all the time with my buddies. So like it's one of those things where when I'm going up against like a buddy of mine who's like way bigger, it's like going through my head, it's like a
Oh
totally
gosh,
different thing than going up against someone my own weight, right? So it kind of just
yeah,
like
yeah.
messes with my head a little bit. That's why
David versus Goliath.
exactly, yeah. So in the first like 20 seconds before the match is about to start, what is
Yeah.
going through your head, if anything?
What is going through my head in the first 20 seconds of the match or
Yeah,
before?
like right as you're about to start the match, what's going through your head?
It depends on how they hit you. That's really it. Like if they hit me hard in the first 20 seconds, I'm like, okay, here we go. I'm gonna hit you hard back. But if they're chill, I'm chill. Like I'm very nonchalant. So if they're chill, I'm just gonna be chill too. So it just depends on how my opponent reacts to start the match. And then I know what's gonna go, how this is gonna go down.
I like it. What would you
Yeah.
say is the most humbling moment in your career as a wrestler? It could be from any time.
Yeah. So when I made the Team Canada in grade nine, my first year, we went down to the States. It was in Michigan, and me and my two buddies went. And I was thinking, oh, this is gonna be chill. It's gonna be easy, whatever. I went and I went 0-2. It was a bad day, and it was a long car ride home, and it was just not a fun experience. So that tournament was definitely like, oh God, just a bad day. And I was like, what the heck happens now?
Kind of just made you realize, right? Like
Yeah, I
levels of
was like, I gotta, if I'm doing this, I gotta take it more serious.
now on the flip side, what would you say is the absolute best moment as a wrestler? It could be like a big match you won, tournament you won, opportunity. What would you say is your absolute best moment?
I got a couple in high school. Is in my final years. Our high school never won like our regionals, and we won it in our we won it that year. It was like the first time in like 50 years or whatever. That was a big moment because it was with my best friends. We were all on the team. University first year would have been when our school never had a U Sport medalist, and I medaled at U Sports last year. That was pretty big, and I'm more of a team success person, so I don't really focus on how I'm doing. I like to see everyone on my team do well. So this year there was some improvements on my team, so I like that. Like there were some guys that didn't win a match last year, and then when you come in this year and you see them working hard and they win some matches this year, that means a lot to me because we're not the best team out there. So some people kind of look at us like as like a smaller team, but I'm okay with that because as long as I'm seeing the guys improve, that means the world to me. And then finally, I think it was in 2021, I went to the Pan Ams. I came third. That was a pretty exciting day for me. That was good.
I
So
like
yeah, those,
definitely a lot of accolades there, and it's good
yeah,
to know like seeing your team succeed too, right? Because it's a team sport at the end of the day, but
yeah,
obviously
man.
like certain stuff feels better than others. But do you have like a like do you have like a wrestler you kind of idolize growing up, or like someone you kind of like look towards and like try and model after their game in any way?
It's weird. I don't really watch wrestling. It's kind of
Really?
weird to say. Yeah, I'm not a big. I don't watch wrestling a lot. Yeah, I like watching other sports. Yeah, I'm around wrestling a lot where I'm like, I don't want to watch it. But there's a couple people like my sister I watched a lot, of course, growing up. She was a big influence. And a good friend of mine named Dylan Williams, he was another influence of mine. Both of those people are really, really good wrestlers that I like watching them. But again, I like looking at other role models like outside of wrestling because it just gives me a different view on life. Like I don't need to look at wrestlers to, be influenced by it. If I look at other sports and other people and what they're doing, it helps.
I love it. Last question we have for you here. What is your end goal with wrestling? Like, obviously, you got a few more years here at TMU, but do you want to take it further than university? Do you want to keep on going? You want to make this a life thing, or do you know what you want with the sport yet?
I probably got like 3 years left, 3 to 4 years left of this. But my end goal is not really like a certain goal of like winning a tournament. My end goal is just knowing when I'm done, like I gave it my all. Like that's kind of my goal. Like I want to make sure I put the best foot forward, and sometimes there will be changes, so I gotta make some changes. So at the end of the day, as long as I know I gave it my all and I gave everything I had, I think that's my end goal with the sport.
Awesome. I think we're good. I think we got all the questions nailed down. Thank you very
Yeah,
much for your time on the podcast.
man.
And yeah, definitely would like to do another one at some point. Hopefully, if you medal this year at the U Sports or just check in, see how things are going. But yeah, really appreciate your time and
Thanks for having me.
wish the best for the upcoming season.
Thanks a lot.
All right, this concludes episode number 6 of the Rattling the Brand podcast, and we'll see you guys soon. Peace.